Yeah, I'm gonna get straight to the point. Yeah, these guys don't want you to have options. They're mad that, and it's a shame. It's a shame because I've been involved in this passport game for many years, right? And I found out years ago that this was the shortcut, this was the hack in opposition of dealing with Western women. With Western women, and in 2022, it's even worse, right? Back then, when I was dealing with, I mean, yeah, there's still, the options was to settle with what you can get because what you wanted, unless you were in a certain category or percentage, financially, status wise, those high quality women were not available to you. And if you were, and if your option was pay to play, it costs way more, right? The same level of quality that you would get that's affordable to you in another country as far as pay to play, in that same woman in the matrix is going to cost triple or sometimes quadruple, you know, if you want that same quality. So the um the hack was I had my passport for many years. Many years I had my passport. I just never used it until less than 10 years ago. When I discovered Dominican Republic. So from then it was it. That was it. That was all it took. And that's been, but at this point, because of social media, everyone is rediscovering people that wasn't even considering it are considering it for a long time. That's why they had the manosphere because of the current situation. That's why the manosphere became so big because a lot of guys are not in that 1%. It's only like the 1% is getting laid by a top quality woman. Think about it. You even have celebrities that's having a hard time. That's to tell you how bad the situation is. So the higher quality in looks the woman is in the matrix, the more difficult it is to get with. Some guys will tell you it's about looks, it's about self improvement, blah blah. But they've been preaching that for years, right, in the manosphere. But as you can see, guys who's following those commandments, right? They're trying to get themselves together, their finances, they was hitting the gyms, gym memberships increased. Guys is really working at it, but to no avail. You know, it's like you're still playing the lottery. There's guys that selling you game packages, and then when you look at these same guys, they don't have the receipts to back up their claims. So bottom line, these guys want you to settle at the end of the day. They want you to settle. There's guys that's shaming. I talk about this Peso Man character, and I broke him down. His whole thing is he is a male feminist, straight up male feminist. You listen to this guy, it's like listening to a male with feminist ideologies. And what do feminists do? They shame? That's then like what did Kevin Samuels teach us? Shame, insult, guilt, and need to be right. You listen to Mr. Peso Man. He fits every one of those sign language initials. Shaming, he wants to shame you for going overseas and exercising your options. He insults the passport brothers, makes videos. He's scared to show his face, right? But he will put you. I don't want to make this whole video about that dude, but I'm just showing you some of these characters that's against what we're doing as far as exercising our options. So he insults certain members of the passport community and tries to come with those feminist talking points, tries to guilt you, and he has this need to be right, just like a woman. Same with these other dating coaches. They want to shame you. Oh, you're going overseas and spending this. You're doing this. And oh, insult you. Oh, you're lame. You don't have game. Guilt you. Like, look how much money you're spending. You're such a lame. And they have a need to be right. But then what's the alternative these detractors are giving you? Ask them, okay. So we know they will say, oh, you need, with patient man, oh, why don't you get what you qualify for? So wait a minute, you're telling me you're shaming a man for exercising his options, going overseas, and your rebuttal your solution is to settle for what you can get? So what's the purpose of you going overseas? That defeats the whole purpose. And are you paying for the man to go overseas? The man that's going overseas and having a good time with somebody overseas, is that your daughter he's having relations with? Is that someone that you know? What does that have to do with you? Why are you concerned about what another man does with his privates? These guys, say his thing is, bottom line, he's a male feminist and he's on a come up. He is basically, as far as that peso man dude, he found his niche. And his niche is to be a male feminist. To take off, he's like basically the male Cynthia G. He may as well, the only difference is he's not talking about divesting like a lot of those females like Cynthia G and the Nyla Vibes and the Divested Witch and all these so-called divestors. Those are females that have fell off. They fell off. And now they're looking for a new alternative. They're basically doing something similar to what the passport, people that's found the passport alternative is doing. They figure that their alternative is to go out of the black community. They're trying to and I'm gonna tell you straight up with them, they no longer can attract the bad boys. The bad boys, they've hit the wall. They're wall hitters, because there's always a brand new 18-year-old girl on the scene, and so. You know what I'm saying? The most that they can't get the what they want anymore. You know what I'm saying? They can only get loser guys. I mean, straight up loser guys. So what are they saying? Oh, okay, well, we're gonna divest. But guys with careers and have something on the board is not checking for them because we've discovered different options. Most guys that have something on the board, they're either dating. If they are dating in a matrix, they're dating other races, or they're dating overseas, or paying for play overseas. You know what I'm saying? So of course, they have a reason to attack because the guys that they want, they are no longer interested in them because they have hit the wall. If you really check it out, most of the females that's talking about divesting are wall hitters and they're late over 35. You know what I'm saying? Wall hitters. And they're settling for dudes, the so-called dudes that's out of the race that they're settling for. They tend to be doing better than them financially anyway. So they don't even count. They don't even matter because they're not even involved anyway. But it's such an uproar that black men are traveling and having fun. For a long time, we've been behind the wall. We've been only settling with what we can settle with in the matrix. So, some of us, will settle down. And that's what they want us. They want us to settle, to stay in the matrix and settle for what we can get, as opposed to going overseas and expanding our options. But the argument continues. Let them get mad. They think their tactics is not working. You know what I'm saying? For the content creators, yes, probably is because they're getting people to tune in. That's, and it's a smart business move. As far as business, It's a smart business move. As far as the dating coaches, they have something to really lose. They really have something to lose. I mean, they always going to be guys that's going to tune in. They still have their market share, but it's a threat to them because as more and more men discover overseas, who's going to need their services? Who's going to want to tune in to their Patreon or their consultation? Why would you do that when all you have to do, you know what I'm saying, is just book a ticket and book accommodations, and that's all you need to do. So that is a threat to them. The movement is a threat to them. The traveling overseas is a threat to them. And that's why they're using the same thing that Kevin Samuel says, the sign language, the shame, the insults, the guilt, and the need to be right. Because it's affecting their pockets. In the long run, it's going to affect their pockets. And guys like the Peso Man, dude, like I said, his thing is he's been trying to find his way. You know what I'm saying? He's been trying to find his way, and he found his way as far as getting his subscriber count up, and that's going to be his content. He is a destroyer. He's not a builder. Ask him for solutions. He can't give you no solutions. All he could do is point, 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 point. He's a professional critic. That's what I'll call him, a professional critic. He has to find something to talk down on. He talks down on everything. He has no solution. He's not solution based. He talks about the passport bros and comes with these feminist points of, all they want to do is have sex with, and all they want to do is this and that. Oh, men is men. If sex is not available in the location, what are they supposed to do? You will want a man to settle with what he can do, what he can get. And that's what men have been doing a long time before they discovered the passport movement. You had to settle, like you have a desire to bang a dime, but you can't. But you know that you it's out of your league. It's out of your league. So what do? You have to settle. That's why even it's just, and our people, as far as our black men, we're so accustomed settling, and you're so accustomed settling with what you can get, overweights and loser chicks. There's some guys that's even traveling and continuing to deal with that prototype. No, bro, you don't have to. I seen a post. I'm not going to say who it is or whatever, but this guy was posting this overweight chick, and he was, this is this and that. I'm like, dude, if you're going to go overseas, why even travel for that? Why go? Why you don't have to settle. That's the whole thing about traveling. You don't have to settle when you do that. When you travel, you can get what you want. You can get what you want. You don't have to settle. But, that's another conversation. But that's what these guys want you to do. The dating coaches, they don't tell you that, and it's common sense. You don't have to, you getting this information free. You could only get, if you're playing the dating game and you are not of the 1%. People would say you need a 6-pack and 6 tall, and all. At the end of the day, those guys, it's more than that these days. You need more than that. You need status. You also need to be in a certain financial level. To get a baddie, you're battling against simps. You're battling against simps. There's simps that will do anything to get a chick. There's no limit. And it depends on the type of simp. There's simps with deep pockets. That's battling for the eights, nines, and tens. You have to battle against guys that have deep pockets. They start off getting at this chicks talking about, hey, I will pay you this and I will do this. And how are you going to compete against that? How are you going to compete against that? Every once in a while, you might get lucky if you are extremely model-like. You might get lucky every once in a while. But even those guys are having a hard time. Case in point, Mr. Austin Holloman. Like I mentioned before, the guy is a good-looking guy. Pause. He's a good-looking guy. Pause. And look at the problems that he's having. That's why the movement have gotten so big, because Most guys will look at him like, wait a minute, why are you having problems with matrix chicks? You have the looks, you have the height, you look like you have the six pack, you have the jawline, and you're getting all these problems. Some guys will say maybe he's socially awkward or whatever reason. But it just goes to show you, maybe the reason that he was having issues because maybe his finances, he's not in the 1% as far as financially, you know. He's so that this goes to show you for the black pill guys, all you guys ever focus is on looks. Oh, you gotta have the looks. You have to have the looks. You have to have the looks. No, look at Mr. Austin Holloman. He has the looks, and he's in the same position as a guy that doesn't have the looks. He's having the same problems. Not to say he probably can't bang nothing, but he's not getting what he wants in the matrix. He's not getting what he wants, meaning that he's not getting access to the 8s, 9s, and 10s. He's probably getting 6s and 7s, maybe the most, maybe a thing that's barely pushing a 7. But the 8s, 9s, and 10s, he doesn't have access to them, as good looking as he is. So it doesn't even matter about all that. But when you go overseas, you have access to the 8s, 9s, and 10s. You can do whatever you want. It's within your reach. And that's why they don't want you to travel, because they know that once, for the new people that never traveled and never experienced that, they know that once you go overseas and you get a taste of the 8s, 9s, and 10s, it's a wrap. Why? Your eyes are open, you know what I'm saying? It's like we always say the red pill and the blue pill. Once you take that, get access to the 8s, 9s, and 10s, and you take that red pill and you're like, wait a minute, all this time in the Matrix, I can even get something that's close, half as good as this thing, and I'm over here, and I'm having access to this. You're never going to be the same. That's what happened with Mr. Holloman. Once he got access to the 8s, 9s, and 10s in Brazil, you know what I'm saying? It's never going to be the same. When you come back to the Matrix, you're going to be like, hell no. Hell no. And that's what I've been doing for the last few years. Once I got access to the 8s, 9s, and 10s, it's a wrap. You can't even look at the Matrix chicks the same way. You can't even do that because it's like you don't want to settle anymore because you know it's in reach. All you have to do is just have the money, book a ticket, and land at day. As soon as you land in whatever your favorite country is, it's in access. The whole world is a Disneyland. They don't want you to discover that. For a long time, other men have been playing that game. Black men have just really gotten into it in the mass within the last 3 years. I've been playing that game more than 5 years now. I discovered that shit more than 5 years ago. Me personally. So, but even though I've been playing that game for a long time, there's still places that I haven't touched. And when I get there, like last year, I went to Brazil. I felt like a little kid because I've never experienced Brazil. And when I got there, it was like a brand new country. It was like a brand new experience. And that's how the whole world is. They don't want you to discover that. And even if you're on some regular dating, you know what I'm saying? Even if that's what you want to do, it's still within reach. Because now the tables have turned. You are part of as a American traveler. You are now in the 1% of whatever country you go to. So even if you choose that you want to date, you can if you want to. For the guys that want a manga, you can because if you want to. You have the bottom line is that you have options, and they don't want that.